Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Happy to see all of you. Om Tat Sat. I just came rushing back from Kerala to be with you. We were busy with some other engagements, and by Krishna's mercy, we are able to meet together in this forum. We are situated in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and we started with many students. We are in the finishing line. It's like a big marathon. You know, sometimes these huge marathons, they start with a lot of people, and the end, there's very few finishing the line. About 50% of them get off. So sometimes we have here in Coimbatore marathon for this, marathon for that. And recently I saw a video of Narendra Modi in New York doing yoga on the International Yoga Day. I think about 50% of them, or at least 25% of them, I should say, not 50%, were there in the yoga but could not do the yoga. They came all the way to be with Narendra Modi to do yoga, but when the instructor said on stage, please stretch down, they were not stretching down, they were just standing. You can't even stretch down. Some of them made an attempt to stretch like this, at least bent a few inches this way. Many of them didn't. They just can't do it. They just could not do it. But I like the fact that they at least made an attempt, thinking that they can. Some of them mentally decided, no, it's not possible for me, because we're pretty huge. Some of them tried to, some of them were halfway down, some of them were trying their best, but they were doing it for the first time, maybe. But it's nice that many of them tried, and some of them could, some of them could not. So I'm very happy that some of you tried and you stuck on till the end. All glories to you, Jai. So we are poised to finish it within 1 or 2 sessions, maybe. Of course, this is a very important chapter because Krishna is summarizing, and he is summarizing in a very amazing way also. Is bringing the same knowledge at a different angle and helping us to come to grips with the conclusions of the Bhagavad Gita. We are, if I'm right, at shloka number quiz. Who knows where we are?
36, Maharaj. 36.
Oh, sorry, I'm not able to hear you. Yeah, did you say something? Does anybody know where we are? Shalini was there, she would normally tell me, and she is there.
36.
Yeah.
36.
36.
You're muted, Shalini, can't see you. Can't hear you. Even you're unmuted, we can't hear you. Can't hear you. Somebody said something?
I said, Maharaj, 36. 36.
Oh, okay. Okay. We are at 36. So I will speak a few words, and our organizers here also want to speak a few words to you right now, and then I'll resume again. 35. Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madamevacha navimunchanti dhurumedha driti sapartha tamasi. And that determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination of Sanaprata is in the mode of darkness. Yeah, I think we saw this particular here. I'm showing to you on screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah. So determination in sattva guna, unbreakable, sustained by yoga, control of mind and senses. Determination in rajoguna, desiring fruits in religion. Arthakama, in association of similar people. Tamas, cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. Krishna is talking about determination under the modes. You know, sometimes we get determined in spiritual life to do a few things. Sometimes we get determined in our material life to achieve things. Many times, you know, people make these New Year resolutions, like I told you. Some of them are sattvika, some of them are rajasika, some of them are tamas. Mostly, they are in rajas and tamas. And a lot of them are in tamas, many of the New Year resolutions. As soon as the January month passes, they've already broken all the so-called resolutions that they have made, and they lament and they feel bad, and then they go ahead with life again. And when the next year comes, again, they make the similar tamasic resolutions. But the determination of a person in sattvic guna is unbreakable, sustained by yoga, control of mind, senses, etc. Why I'm saying this is, when you make determination for spiritual life, normally it has to be in sattvika guna. It has to be in sattvika guna and can be helped in sattvika guna. How? Many of us make a resolution, and in the association of other similar-minded devotees, we get up early in the morning, we chant Hare Krishna, we take part in Bhagavatam reading, we all sit together and do kirtan. All that happens in the morning before 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is Bhagavatam class. The sattvika portion of the day is the best suited for doing a determination execution in sattvika guna. Many times, if you want to do the same thing, chanting of the holy name somewhere in the evening after you come back from work, it's very difficult to do because it's like a rajas and tamas mix setup. It's very subtle. You can actually make out, but it's so rajasic and tamasic that you'll have to take a bath, stay awake, you're feeling very sleepy, and you try to do your japa. You can see that spiritual life sadhana becomes difficult to execute when you're influenced more by rajas and tamas. But if you habituate yourself to do it in the morning, you find it is possible to do. And you get a sense of success and a feeling of superiority that I can do. I can, cross over temptations. I can control my mind. I can direct myself. I can discipline myself. You become more and more confident as you indulge more and more in the sattvika guna. Why? It said here, sustained by yoga. The Bhakti yoga principle that you're following, it becomes sustainable. And you're able to control your mind and the senses and focus. Many of our students, many of our devotees, they experience this and they like it to be in that mode of victory over your mind and your senses. They like to come for Mangalarati in the morning. They like to feel that success in the morning. They like to chant japa in the morning. And it becomes a wonderful day the whole day. They are already having success and the whole day becomes easy. So the nature of Sattva-guna is that it is sustainable by yoga. That's why Krishna is describing in the 18th chapter, he will teach you how to do yoga. Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru. You perform sadhana, think of me, offer your obeisances to me, worship me, and in this way you will come to me. because it is sustainable yoga, Bhakti yoga. Definitely you will come to me, right? So when we do in the sattvic portion of the day is sadhana, an effort to be spiritually situated. It's become sustainable, doable, and you become hopeful and you become very positive about spiritual life. I just want to give you a sample of what Sattvika Guna determination is. Many people all over the world who come in touch with this ISKCON movement, initially it is like, get up early in the morning. What do you mean? I've never done it in my life. Stop eating meat. What do you mean? I've never done it. I've grown up in it. You guys are asking to do all the unimaginable things. Nobody will follow you. But it is amazing that the same person who says that starts following it. And he becomes amazed that I'm able to do it. How is it? From my notion of thinking that it is impossible, that I've come to a point where I think it's possible to do it. Right? This is the meaning of unbreakable and sustained by yoga. Right? There are also materialistic people who keep themselves in sattva guna and achieve sattvic things. Some teachers and professors I've seen, they lead a very disciplined life. They are teachers, they rise to the level of a principal, they have got discipline, and they keep up some principles in life. And they become exemplary. And many students like to follow them like that. So you see examples in the material world of people in Sattvika Guna. All the Brahmins are in Sattvika Guna, Brahmana. He is taught from his younger days how to be in Sattvika Guna. They get up early in the morning, they take a bath, they come and do their Sandhya Vandanam, they come and chant Vishnu Sahasranama, they'll do a small Homa. Father will be directing, they'll do some deity worship, and they'll be fasting. Only around 8 o'clock, after doing all these things, they'll break their fast and they'll get to work. By 8:30, they are gone. And they come back in the evening and they study together some Vedic scriptures, very disciplined life, no nonsense life, like that. There are people who do that also. But Rajasic and Tamasic, I don't have to give you examples. The world is filled with people like that. So that is determination. Then Krishna goes ahead to speak in this chapter. Let's read 36. Sukham itva idanim trividham shunu me bharatarishabha abhyasat ramate yatra dukkantam sa nigachati. O best of the Bharatas, now hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys and by which it sometimes comes to the end of all distress. This is another very interesting analysis of what happiness is. You'll find it, the world is filled with attempts to be happy. And there's all sorts of experiments and everything. People think that everything is happening in the brain. It can be manipulated in the brain. And you're spoken about, discussed with about chemicals in the brain, dopamine, serotonin, and all these, and that will give you a particular type of moods, and they are the reasons for you feeling happy, etc. But they don't know about the subtle reasons of the modes of material nature affecting us. That you can have happiness under the three modes. That's very beautifully described here. All the research that people have done, if they understand that there are higher forces governing us, especially the modes, which most people don't know about unless they read the Bhagavad Gita and become students of Bhagavad Gita. Your happiness is controlled by, and the type of happiness that you enjoy is dependent on the modes of material nature you are in. You yourself would have experienced this, but since you don't know how to categorize it, you haven't done it. But once you read the Bhagavad Gita, you can actually categorize your happiness according to the modes. And when you do that, you get into another world of analysis. If you are in Sattvika Guna, here it is mentioned, Yat tadagre vishamiva pariname amritopanam tatsukam satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. Translation. Can you read that, Krishna's Dr. Gandhi? Can you read the translation of 37?
Hare Krishna, pranams Maharaj.
Yeah.
That which in the beginning may just be, sorry Maharaj, that which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. Hare Krishna, pranams.
Yeah. Just remember this. In the beginning, it is bitter, like poison. In the end, it is like nectar. And number two quality is it awakens you to self-realization. Is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. So how will it be happy when it is in the beginning bitter and poisonous? How will it be happy in the end when it is like nectar? Of course, Amrita. That is definitely I can understand that. It awakens one to self-realization. Of course, it's happiness because it makes you light. It makes you completely free from material burden. That we can understand to be self-realization and happiness in the mode of goodness. So let's read the purport of this. Pratibha Narayani, I want you to read the purport to text 37. It's a small paragraph.
Yes, Maharaj. In the pursuit of self-realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and senses and to concentrate the mind on the self. All these procedures are very difficult, bitter like poison, but if one is successful in following the regulations and comes to the transcendental position, he begins to drink real nectar and he enjoys life.
Yeah, thank you. The rules and regulations, do's and don'ts, prohibitions, all these things are difficult to follow. Just like when a patient is sick, he goes to the doctor has prescriptions apart from his prescriptions. His prescription is that you should take this medicine 3 times a day and you should do this. Then he has prescriptions which say that you should not do this. You should not eat this particular, stuff. You should not eat chili. You should not eat oil fried stuff. You should not eat late in the night. You should not, all the things that you like to do. Don't eat chocolates. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. Don't do. So it is definitely poisonous in the sense that it's difficult. But then as he does it, he becomes healthier and healthier. And he enjoys good health. And he comes to understand more about his body and how he should eat nicely. He realizes that I can actually live a happy, healthy life by staying away from some of these things. Because now the staying away is not a great problem for me because my life has become healthier and brighter. I'm able to achieve more things. So there's something like self-realization. So that's another example. In spiritual life also, you have rules and regulations, especially if you want to be successful. So all these rules and regulations, when we follow it with a good purpose and a plan, we enjoy better life, better health, better consciousness. And it's worth it. It's better to habituate myself to this. I no more look at it like something poisonous or something disrupting my enjoyment or anything. Why? Because I'm pushed up to a higher level of consciousness and happiness. Right? That's the advantage of happiness in Sattvika Guna. And Rajasika Guna, Vishayendriya Samyogat, Yattat Agre Amritopamam, Pariname Vishamiva Tat Sukham Rajasam Smritam. Satyendra Hirendeshai, would you like to read that translation for 38?
Yes, Maharaj. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end is said to be of the nature of passion.
Rajogun happiness. Contact of the senses with the sense objects. That's a central thing about passionate Rajoguna happiness. Enjoying your senses, food, hearing, music, good thing, enjoying that. It looks good in the beginning, and you will tend to indulge in it more and more. And the more and more until the end, it always brings misery. The nature of Rajogun enjoyment through the senses especially is in the beginning it is good, and the end result is always miserable. Is always miserable. It is designed like that. Most people in the material world go for this short-term, quick, instant gratification. It starts off nicely, glittery and glitzy, and then at the end you really suffer. A lot of them enjoy, and there is hospitals. You'll see the same person in the hospitals. You will see them visiting the hospitals. It's a whole big trap. It's a business trap. There's a glitzy, razzle dazzle, township and everything people enjoy. And then you will find the same people back in the hospital because they overindulged. It's miserable. They suffer pain. They go through medication, painkillers, this, that, everything. And they are back again. It's Rajasic. You can see them up and down, swaying between this. It's a business understanding also. A lot of business is based on food and health. Food is something people cannot control. They eat according to their tongue. They eat all sorts of things, and they screw up their whole body. And then they are in the hospital. They are under treatment. They're suffering. Then as soon as they're a little better, they'll take that painkiller, this painkiller. Somehow I don't want to suffer. I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy. This is Rajasic happiness. It's short-lived. It starts nicely. It ends miserably, but you get addicted to it. Bhoga, you get addicted to it. Then for some time, you'll stay away from it. There is also a Bhoga Tyaga principle in this. As soon as you have overindulged, you feel there is no more enjoyment in the indulgence. So you stay away from it for about a long time, which is called Tyaga. And so that you can come back to it again in greater force with greater taste. So you'll see the sense enjoyment is all like that. You stay away for some time so that you can get back and enjoy it again. These are all the things that happen in Rajasic enjoyment and Rajasic happiness. If you analyze very carefully our lives, we will see that we are addicted to a lot of passionate enjoyments of various types. And we think it is normal because the whole world does it. The whole world does it. Read the purport of this Priya. Priya 1.
Yes, Maharaj. But one who takes pleasure in laziness and in sleep is certainly in the mode of darkness, ignorant.
No. You're reading, I said read the purport for 38.
38. Oh, sorry. A young man and a young woman meet, and the senses drive the young man to see her, to touch her, and to have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, this may be very pleasing to the senses, but at the end or after some time, it becomes just like poison. They are separated, or there is divorce, there is lamentation, there is sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from a combination of the senses and the sense objects is always a cause of distress and should be avoided by all means. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that caps it up for you very nicely. Text 39, let's speak about tamasic happiness. Yadagre chanubandhe cha sukam mohanamatmanah nidra lasya pramodotham tattamasam udahritam. Please read that. Your name is welcome. I thought it is Dr. Welcome Ji. I forget your name. Would you like to read this? Text 39. Welcome Ji disappeared. I'm sorry.
Can I read?
Yes.
Vijayarajan here.
Yes, Vijayarajan, please read.
And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be the nature of ignorance.
Yes,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you. Now we're coming to tamasic happiness. I remember my younger days, a servant maid telling my mom, and I was wondering what type of happiness. My mom asked, what do you like to do most? And the servant maid telling, I like to, whenever I get time, I just sleep. I'll take the blanket and put it and I just sleep. I love to sleep. And my mom said, you love to sleep? What a waste of time. In the daytime also you sleep. Anytime I'll sleep. And my mom said, nighttime is the only time to sleep actually. You should sleep early. No, anytime you give me, I'll sleep. That's the most important thing I like. You don't like to eat food? Not so much. I like to sleep. I heard that and I thought that, oh, there are people in this world who spend their time, their hobby is sleeping. It was interesting for me at that time. Very young age, I was always thinking of this. My mind, somebody likes to sleep the whole day. It's interesting. This is due to tamogun. Tamoguna people like to drug themselves. They like to take intoxicants like alcohol, marijuana, ganja, and everything. And it puts you in artificial tamoguna, forced tamoguna. And you like the tamoguna. Actually, what happens to you in intoxication is you're pushed into tamogun. And you like it. You become an enjoyer of that type of physics. So it says here, laziness, sleep, and illusion is said to be in the nature of ignorance. Illusion means you don't like to be in the reality. Your reality is producing you some suffering, you have some problems, this, that, you get drunk. You want to forget that. And you want to remain in illusion, in the non-real. I want to be in the non-real. I'm not able to digest the reality. So you get addicted to illusion and you are lazy by nature. I don't have to explain to you what laziness is. Many of us like it very much. You like to, doc says that you should take an early morning walk. And oh my gosh, I can never do it. I can never do it. I can at the most walk a few steps. I've seen some of them protesting like nothing. To get them to walk, to get them to run, to do the treadmill, it's a big job. They're all highly afflicted by tamogun. Highly afflicted with tamogun. In spite of the fact that sometimes they are nice people otherwise, but if you talk to them about exercising their body, not only in terms of the physical body, in terms of the mind and the intellect also, people become lazy. They are very good at putting their mind and they're listening to different types of sense gratification. But you ask them to do some thinking in terms of self-realization, spiritual life and all that, oh, I can't do it. I just don't want to do it. I just don't. It's not that I don't like it, but I just can't get to do it. Because of excessive tamoguna, sometimes people don't even read the Bhagavad Gita. They don't even pick it up. They become intellectually lazy, mentally lazy, spiritually lazy. It's because of tamagun. And sometimes they ask, why is it that I'm not having a desire to read the Bhagavad Gita? One of the biggest impediments I've seen in people reading the Bhagavad Gita is tamoguna. They just don't pick it up. But if you put some other novel or magazine next to it, they pick it up and they read it intensely, immediately. What did Narendra Modi do in his US program? I'm so eager to see it. I'm so eager to see it and check it up and talk about it and everything. Why are you not so eager to know about yourself, about the reality, about the illusion you are in, about Krishna, about wonderful, amazing truths? No. It's not so exciting to me. This is the meaning of addiction to illusion. This is the meaning of addiction to ignorance. If you examine yourself, you will see you have an excessive laziness, spiritually and intellectually and mentally. And that's what prevents you from indulging in the sadhana that Krishna says you must do. So when we recognize that we are ruled by these modes, we should immediately get out of it. We should try to keep ourselves as much as possible in this sattvic mode. It becomes conducive to happiness. It becomes conducive to good, efficient, 100% efficient living as a human being. And it helps you finally in realization very much. Keeping yourself on the springboard of Sattvika Guna helps you to propel yourself into spiritual life much more easily. Okay, right.